Yes.
Right, okay, Tilly. Oh, yeah, good, cool, thank you. I knew you were here for a reason. Good evening, everyone, to this committee. The 6th of January 2025, so that's one for the year. Happy New Year to you all. I don't have the agenda in front of me.
Public participation.
Yes, if we start with the participation, we don't have anyone in the room. Do you have anyone in the virtual room? No, I can see. Fantastic. We will skip on to apologies. So we have apologies from Adam Peacock, who's unfortunately unwell, so I'm sure we wish him well in his recovery. I believe we have apologies from Councillor Whittaker regarding one of the applications on the agenda, to which he was giving sense of conflict of interest. And I do have sort of apologies for absence from Toast.
Okay.
He has a work commitment he doesn't expect to get back from, but he may not. So include work with him if he does so. That's everyone.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay.
Minutes.
So the minutes of the last meeting was it the 9th of
December,
as long ago as that?
Mm.
So I believe they're all been circulated. Anyone have any? Well, I'd like to propose that we accept those minutes as a true and accurate record. Anyone have any comments on?
I'll second that, Chair.
That's a good idea. Yeah, well played. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes? I will take a vote on that, please. That's carried. Thank you very much. I better sign them off if I forget. Oh yeah, it does say not to sign them off. Okay. That's good. That's taken care of. Thank you very much.
The next item is declarations of interest.
Okay, yes. So does anyone have any declarations of interest they want to raise before on this consent agenda? Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Any chairman's announcements?
Yes. So I do have a couple of announcements. I might have to read them as I go. So first of all, Councillor Whittaker was kind enough to award us a little spiel about the latest updates on the new NPPF, the National Planning Policy Framework. So he's just given us some notes to mull over for the time being, but that will follow as well, I'm sure. It's the wrong page. Essentially, the National Planning Policy Framework is being updated and is coming into force immediately. And I will find what I need to tell you. Do try to see if it didn't come up particularly well. Okay. So as I say, it comes into force immediately for determining planning applications. Planning applications will now tend to fund planning pollution and housing developments unless policies protecting certain areas of importance provide a strong reason for refusal or the adverse impacts significantly outweigh benefits. For decision making with planning applications, the new PPF comes into force immediately and planning decisions must now reflect this. There's a lot more detail in the briefing note from NFCC, so that should be something we can really look at ourselves. With its submitted revised district plan, which is partway through examination based on the old NPPF, the standard method for assessing housing needs changed, as does the assessment of housing land supply from 4 to 5 years. I'm sure you'll we'll see formal advice on this in the coming weeks, but I'll give you a heads up prior to the next meeting, of which we are at. So, does anyone have any comments on that particular? As I said, it's all somewhat work in progress in terms of getting all the information that we need going forward. Just gives us a little bit of an indication as to what we might have to deal with and constructively work towards as we make our recommendations in the future.
Just to say, I think the committee, I think we speak for a lot of the committee, so more information would be beneficial, whether it's from one of our Mid Sussex colleagues or somebody from the planning, one of the planning officers of district or locally would be really useful. And obviously, I love the word significantly outweigh the benefits. What is significant? That's what I've learned about traffic and what's severe and what is not severe. You know, that's where the ambiguity lies. So yeah, I'd be really interested to see what has changed and what that means from us from a local perspective.
Absolutely, because a lot of that is essentially what we're doing already. Just it may change how we look at it. We don't really know exactly what that looks like. So anyway, anything else on that one? Fantastic, thank you very much. So I guess we will note that.
Noted.
Right, my next announcement, following on from the NPPF, is that also courtesy of both councillors and outstanding community backlog. We have an update on the site that came, I believe, as a public question at the last meeting, and thank you very much for my vice chair coming here at that meeting. I know there was lots to talk about, as was expected. So we do have an update from. Who was the update from?
West Sussex County Council.
So there's questions as to whether everyone's aware. Go ahead. So the response from West Sussex is that we have not been informed of any plans to commence this development. Condition 1 of the decision notice required them to inform us at least 7 days prior to the start of the site. This has not happened, although this is an update from a little while ago. For information, conditions 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 have been submitted and have been discharged. You can find the information relating to this on our online planning pages. Having looked, not all the approved documents are online, but I'll ensure those are there in the next few days, so they could well be there. I'd like to think at this stage, but I can't say yea or no. Regarding ensuring compliance with the details, the County Council has a planning compliance enforcement plan which sets out that monitoring of all mineral and waste sites that have planning permissions carried out to ensure that the development takes place in compliance with the terms of the planning conditions attached to the permission and, where relevant, the associated legal agreement. In this way, the County Council can ensure the impact of the authorised development, e.g. on the environment and local amenity, is controlled. In essence, our compliance and monitoring officer will visit the site periodically to ensure that the site is operating as we would expect. So that is, I believe, the current on that particular application, which, as I say, came up as a public question last time. So it was certainly worth that being raised and looked at, and following that career for us. Does anyone have any questions or any points to note on that one?
Just to note, just add to that, just to remind everybody that I think planning, the permission they got granted expires in September of this year. So, you know, they would have to give 7 days notice before work can commence, so that the clock is ticking, otherwise you have to go through full planning.
Yeah. Anyone else? Fantastic. Okay. I think that's all my announcements, unless I'm forgetting anything. No, one more, which probably worth mentioning, is the budget document for the coming year has been set out in brief today, in a general section of the Town Council. So obviously each committee will want to review and make comment on that as they see fit, particularly with regards to their own committee, their own objectives. So with regards to planning, I just wanted to note the planning section of the new budget document. And I quote, to continue to scrutinise planning applications and make appropriate recommendations to MSDC with reference to land neighbourhood plan, to monitor the progress of the draft district plan as it moves through examination to adoption during 2025, to consider whether the neighbourhood plan requires review once the district plan has been adopted, incorporate changes, as we've said, to the updated NPPF, to consider the licensing applications and where appropriate, send comments to the licensing authority, to press that NSBC along with WSCC and Surrey County Council work together to resolve the infrastructure issues on the A22/A264 and strategic development comes forward for more housing in that. I don't think there's anything particularly controversial about any of that. It's probably what we expected to be working towards for the next year. But it's the new budget planning. Would anyone like to comment?
And that is kind of what I am anticipating your business plan aims are as well. So if there is anything else you'd like to include or change, please let me know and put it together.
Yeah, probably should mention that. Thank you very much. Particularly like the A264, because we can't talk about that by current form. Okay, brilliant. Well, if we can know that, then
Noted.
we can move on to I chucked in the protected tree applications into the agenda because we do have tree applications with the applications specifically on the agenda.
No.
Yes. Oh, there it is, fantastic, right, we found it. So I don't know if you can read that. Now that I look at it in the big screen, I don't think I can. I think the top one's the main one we're looking at, because the other ones are kind of
From primary to the outcome.
yeah. So barring anything anyone wants to raise, I would suggest we this to our relevant tree officer to
The top one has actually been refused by the tree officer.
it has. Ah, okay.
This is the result, the one that we asked her to look at.
Right.
I am so happy because somebody just wanted to remove oaks from their
Oh,
garden.
that's the one that you would.
And the
yes.
tree officer has refused. So I'm happy.
That's the one that I believe you used the phrase punch in the air or something.
These are your decisions,
Yes.
not applications for discussion, which is the final item on the agenda. So
Okay.
we've added it so that
Oh,
we're
so
discussions
yeah.
your decisions. So at the moment you make your recommendations, but there's no kind of referring back
Yes.
to what your decisions are and whether the Mid Sussex decision was aligned with your recommendation or not. So this is a new item on your agenda. So these two items are there.
Should read it at the end.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So
that makes sense as to why that was at the end. No,
Yes.
Yes, I actually forgot we had at the end because I don't remember. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So in this case, the two decisions we are putting back the red line with the committee recommendations, which is great.
Does that mean that in theory that there may be other decisions in the pack that I haven't made note of that we will need to look at?
No, because I think what we would do is what is reported will come out in the agenda pack, and then next meeting, everything that's been decided since we updated these will be reported.
Okay.
Just to be clear, we're talking about the bottom two. The
Yes.
top one is
It is
for
fine.
discussion.
Okay,
3027 is on the agenda.
right.
For discussion. The bottom two are what we discussed last time.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So we do need to consider or discuss 3027.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the agenda item says it's Mid Sussex District Council planning applications, including protected trees, which is something that separates them as agenda items now because they're all planning applications. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I follow, which is quite good.
Good.
Okay. Did anyone want to make any further comments on the law?
No, thank you, Chair. I'm pleased that they are going to replant a heavy standard tree of a native species whilst they've removed the beach. There must be some reason. If there isn't a reason, the tree officer will be on our side and stop it, but happy to go along with her decision.
And just to add, I think there was, and I forget what it was, some disease or something with that tree.
Could be Ganoderma.
It could have been, I did read it, but there was an explanation as to why it's been.
So that's fine.
Which is always indeed. Great, okay. Barring any further comments, yeah, I'd like to propose that we refer this to any adverse issues on the tree. So I think they put up the mind that is anyway.
I'll second that, Chair.
Thank you very much. Actually, really can I take about that, please? Back to time we close that agenda item, I think. Okay, right. Applications. Before I kick off these, I would like to say I do apologise for how late I was getting this up and for the late amendments in the application. And I would like to stress it is my New Year's resolution to get these out much earlier than I have been thus far. So we can all look forward to that. I can assure you.
I think it's also obligation on all of us, including myself, that was late to review, although there was none in my ward, so that was my excuse, to provide timely feedback to the chair ahead of time. So I think it's an obligation on all of us to provide that as well, Chair.
How about we all make that our New Year's resolution?
I think that's a very sound idea.
From where I sit at the moment, that sounds like a great,
Right,
wonderful flag on the same page every time doing it. Right, okay, so we begin with, do you have the number of this application anymore? Oh, we've got it written up there. Right, DM 240882, provided I got the number right, which is questionable. So this is the land to the rear of the railway approach. And it's essentially an extension to a smaller building that's already there. I believe to continue use as a workshop, so just to expand the operation on there at the time being. The reason I added this one into our discussion today is because obviously I think we have something in this area more than every week. And there is a concern about overdevelopment or inappropriate development, and also perhaps with the roadway during works. So it seems worth discussing. So this is the area here. Obviously, the little red area here is, from what I can tell, this is actually the proposed, the finished article, if you like. So I believe currently, we'll look at it in a minute. I believe currently the practice is this area here, and then the idea is to extend it into more of a square to infill this area here to expand the workshop. I don't know if this really helps us, but this red area is again is where what we've got, and the whole area is what we will have, subject to approval. Okay, so a little bit more meat on the bones here. So again, the existing is on the left. So you can see if you compare the existing to the proposed, this looks like using my pointer showing. This L-shaped thing here is what we currently have, which you can see next to this part, I believe, the new proposed development. If we look at the elevations, there's not significant change in that from what I can see. And given that Councillor Scott is at the minute not here, it's in his ward, I will just make a recommendation myself. And I think I wouldn't have actually support approval for this particular application, that half of the the property is there. It's just an extension of may well be proved fruitful in the coming years to use that space. Railway approaches generally an area we want to redevelop for half decent commercial and perhaps residential use. So I see no reason to not look at support approval for this one. I think there were some questions about biodiversity in the documents, including potentially something like that. I didn't really want to get into the depths of that kind of thing. So I would say that we should probably, if we are going to support approval, make a recommendation that we will support approval subject to any adverse biodiversity, ecological impact that might arise, and that if any particular recommendations come from that section, that we support that they are pursued. So recommendation on the table, can I have a second, please?
I'll second that, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pond. Any questions or comments tonight on that one? Councillor Pond.
Yeah, just to say, I think a lot of to the Chair's point, a lot of the is about access to do the building work. If you mind going back up, Chair. There is the access road. So this is to the is it to the left of the tile? Was it between the time of the fish and chip shop? But there is a road you can see. Yeah, you can see where the red is. There's between 16 and
16 is the tie.
Yes, 16 is the tie, and so to the right of that there is an access road that you can get down. I've not driven it myself, but I did have a from recollection that is, I wouldn't say the widest of the road, but at least there is access, which I know for some of the other planning applications become there's zero access. So we were questioning how they could even build with no access. But so I think that's a point to note. The other point to note is it's claimed again, no pictures were shown that the current building is dilapidated. So this is improving what is a structure that is inadequate. And then really the third point is that this is as part of the neighbourhood plan. This is the area where we're trying to encourage businesses and mixed use residential flats above shops. So it is in keeping with that. There's no objections on the portals. That's just a couple of things like that, Chair.
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. So you make a good point about the access road. Am I right thinking for some reason we can't see my blue thing here? We've got the contract, or is that just going to make things more difficult? Maybe. I take it that's that one on the right.
On the right between, yeah, so you can just about see the red.
Yeah.
And
the
so
more you look at it, the clearer it is.
Yeah. And actually think about it, it's quite substantive.
Yeah.
I recall it being quite narrow, but that could just be perception of because it's tall walls inside.
Got that gates, if I remember rightly. So
yes,
and it's more than one. So
was the black on the left? There's definitely black gates on one side of that.
The black is between the fish and chip shop and the tie.
It's actually, for what it's worth, more surprising that is actually clear, because when you walk down, it looks like you can't get anything anyway, which is always a concern. But no, that's actually a very good part. I considered that myself. Right, okay. We had a recommendation tabled. Do we have any further points before we go to a vote?
I think everything's been said.
Fantastic. Can I take a vote to approve that, please? Okay. Am I right in thinking that we can carry that with the additional point of the biodiversity comment about?
Yes, sure.
So no, we voted. Just to point out, they have got an SLT pump, so there is some sustainability. There is an SLT pump that they're doing, and a very efficient refrigerator unit.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. We have to. Yeah. Let's move on across again. Right. Okay. Now we move to Baldwin's Ward for DM 243006, which is the proposed triple garage with. I'm sure there's more to it than what's written there. Proposed triple garage with hobby room at what's the rest of it? Double
treble garage with a hobby games room above.
And
yes, side and floor extensions, upper floor extensions.
Thank you. Right, where do we begin? So in terms of where we're looking, We are, oh, God, I have to get real clear. Yes, we are.
No, the red area.
No, we have the red area.
I was actually going to
Yeah.
question what the blue was, but I'll come to
Yeah,
that
no,
later.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're quite, it's hit, yes, because this is the, yes, I'm sorry, yeah, you've got it. So, yeah, what is it? I'm not sure. Anyway, no.
It
red-
shares the
red-
access road with the red area.
Ah, yeah, the blue. Yeah.
The red is always more. Really fun. So, this is the property up here. I'm not sure if this graphic here is particularly helpful, but I guess it's a bit. Can't really write it alone.
Happy to explain if you like.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, please. Yeah, of course, it's in your ward, isn't it? Good.
Indeed.
If you wanted to,
Happy to, Chair.
please, yeah, go ahead.
This is a very interesting property. I actually, over 20 years ago, used to garden at this property, but I have no conflict of interest because the person has now passed. The big area at the back, which has got a little line going around it, and then the red, which I've coloured yellow on here, is a quarry. It goes down, beautiful natural habitat. So it does make anything around that periphery totally optimal because there is no strength in foundation. But the house itself,
So that's this area.
that is indeed the at the top there, yeah. The house, as I remember, was very much a mismatch of a house. It had grown like topsy, had little bits added on here and there, and it was originally a bungalow. And I actually feel that, have you got any pictures of the what's proposed?
Absolutely. Yes. Just
It just ties it all together so much nicer. And actually, the front elevation of it is very pleasing on the eye. There we go. And it's a beautifully large site. It can take it. I think it's wonderful. Obviously, the area in question that we've got the objection about is the triple garage and hobby room, which of course they want to put. Where's my piece of paper?
Good time for me to try and get
Go back to the original one, which on this one you can point in the corner. On the other one,
oh, sorry, right.
the triple garage with games room over. They'd like to site on that corner there.
This one.
Yeah. Correct.
Which obviously I believe that the
That drawing over here has only got one building because there's two properties neighbouring on the right, and not one as in that picture, but two as in that picture. And they've recently been built, and they have no objections, and they're actually closer to it than the property that is objecting, which is
it seems like
down here. But it's odd because it's not built in the building line of the properties. It's set back on the site, the one that is objecting. Now, I understand their objections. I mean, they're quoting DP 26, which seeks to protect neighbours from overlooking and loss of privacy. But it's not part of the house that's going to be in this corner. It's merely a garage with a hobby room, which is not going to be used all of the time. The view that they will be looking at is the south elevation, which is the side of the building and has no fenestration in it. The windows are in the west elevation, which, as you can see, that's north. So the windows are going to be looking that way. If you stood on tiptoes in the left-hand window, and really craned your neck, you can see the bathroom window, which is frosted anyway. I don't actually see that you can see a lot the back of the house from a dormer window, which is pointing west.
Yeah.
So I would be happy to recommend approval. But there's one little condition I'd like to add. I'd like it to be stated that permitted rights for any alterations to the games hobbies rooms must be removed. So they can't build it as an annex afterwards.
Yes, because that is one.
So permitted rights are taken away, so they cannot make it into a habitable area. That would be my only condition.
Yeah, I do believe that was raised in the
yes,
it
was raised in the objection. Yes,
Yeah, which I
So
think-
that therefore I would like to make that condition that it cannot happen.
Absolutely.
But other than that, I'm happy to recommend approval.
Just before we do move to more of a discussion, is it worth me getting that image of the garage up? Just so we can actually-
Yeah, yeah.
How am I going to do this without code anything? Do I want a minute?
This computer's slow.
It is slow.
Oh, no.
It's
I
the
think
same.
it's in need of upgrading.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Is it that one? Do you
New
think?
machine. It's coming up.
That's weird.
It's incredibly
It's slow. Yeah, I think
Thank you.
press.
Would you like me to throw this round the table? Because I've got a picture of it.
I think I'll be able to get it just. No, that's not right.
It's
If you,
it's not a new desktop, is it?
must be fancy.
Oh, wait. So it's not going to.
That's the view that we're looking at.
No, it's not, because we've got an extended desktop
12 metres
issue.
away.
Um,
And let that go.
Well, we could.
I think I've got it in front of me, Chair. I think everybody, if they're listening online, they can go to the planning portal. Something we can.
Yeah. Councillor Mockford's description is quite. So. Thank you very much.
I think we need a second.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
I'm happy to say.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, councillor. Well done. Yeah, I was worried about that. Right, we do have a amended or a conditioned recommendation from the table for approval. I think I'll probably speak with further points before we actually go to them.
Councillor Mockford's stated everything I was going to say. I think just to note, and it's not easy to see, you have to get a ruler and kind of do this on it. I think that the garage from top to bottom is about 7 metres. So I didn't think, and again, this is me using non-accurate measurements using a scale drawing, but it appears to be about 7 metres. So this isn't a particularly high. I think to the point, the dormer windows are facing west, from what I can
Yes.
tell. So, you know, they will be able, as you say, they're small windows. I think this is the other point just to note. They are small. This isn't some massive dormer with wide windows where you could get that angle. You know, so I think to be looking over will be, yeah, I think
Challenge.
yeah, and I think, but I get why they're objecting. I think anybody who had a house that had an unobstructed view would not wish to have that, but that's no reason to, unfortunately, you know, reject that. And as Councillor Mockford said, although the property and the grounds looks quite large, a lot of that ground is actually not habitable, would not be able to have this building. So I think, to be fair to them, you know, they put it in the corner. They've not put it right up to the boundary.
Yeah.
A lot of people do put it right up to the boundary, or certainly not on the south boundary. They put it fairly tight up to the east boundary. And as mentioned, the property to the east of it, albeit the diagrams on the left and right looks like the building's been lost, but I think there's some inaccuracy on the drawings.
There are two.
There are two.
Yeah.
The diagram on the right indicates one from the proposed, which I think is incorrect, but they've not objected, and they are will be far closer to it than the property to the south. So yeah, I'll just be supportive of this as well.
Thank you very much. Just for clarity, yeah, the objection did state loss of privacy that impacts on residential amenity, which links to loss of privacy and the overbearing impact. I think we've covered all those points in our response. Councillor Mockford is quite right about the conditions that have been assigned, because that was one of the. To be fair to the objector, they have said if we were to approve it, we should look at potential conditions to help smooth it over. So that's always helpful, always constructive. There was a point made by the objector whether a recommendation that would be to remove or reposition the dormer windows when overlooking. I was initially comfortable with looking at that, but given the discussion we've had from our point of view, probably isn't really necessary step to take. So I think we'd better go to a vote. Yes.
I was just going to say, if you put the dormers on the other side, if you go to the picture on the left where you've got two properties, they're going to be looking right into their bedroom. So no.
in counter to that, I'm trying to make devil's advocate here.
Yes.
You know, you could orientate the building and have the dormers facing north towards their own property would be, I think, possibly what this individual, apart from removing, repositioning, they would have to orientate the whole building 90 degrees.
And then they'd be looking at a lot more building. At the moment,
They
they're
would,
looking
yeah,
at the
indeed,
side.
for that particular property, they would be seeing a wider building, albeit that it wouldn't be overlooked. So I think, as I say, I think, you know, it is what it is. It's not looking south, which is, I think, if the dormers had been looking directly over, I question why they wanted that. That would be a bit odd in itself. But, you know, they're not looking south, they are looking west.
Right.
And as rightly said, if they were to look east, that would be overlooking the property and to the right, the missing building on the
Yes.
right hand.
I dare say the applicant, whether they look at the discussion we've had, or particularly the objections, they will have seen one way or another that there are suggestions in place on whether it's follow up. So if we can.
Yes.
So I think it's probably worth going to a vote on that now. So that's for approval with the condition that the polyroom.
The permitted rights are removed.
Yes. Right, okay, for a vote on that, please. Thank you very much. That's carried. Now we get to
The budget. Honestly.
oh yes. Oh, I covered that in Shelley's announcement, didn't I? When I was supposed to cover it in the budget.
Did, but that's fine, I can move it today.
Thank you.
But you were happy with the budget proposed, which was for planning.
Yeah,
I know you, but that's today.
well, I'm not going to pass judgment or get things out today. So, yeah, I don't think they're the budget.
Yeah, it's most of the increase of planning is an extra 10,000 in the budget for the neighbourhood plan. We rework, if that goes ahead. Yeah, that's what's proposed in there. So
Have we got anything in the budget for, new
new
equipment?
that would be hundreds. We can provide that.
Oh, jolly good. That's fine.
We're doing our whole IT upgrade any day now.
Oh,
So
excellent.
I think we'll just say we'll get
In
new.
fact, I think there was unspent budget from last year, which is
I
All
think
that disappears.
we'll definitely. We really
What about AI councillor gigs, Chairman? You
couldn't.
might get that gentleman's name right most of the time.
Budget. Sorry, far too expensive.
maybe a new laptop. Definitely.
Definitely,
Yeah, I'm far cheaper. Right.
Okay, good. I'll just confirm you're happy
so-
with the proposal.
Just to add to that, so if I can,
Mhm.
so the neighbourhood plan had 0 in it 2 years ago, which obviously didn't feel was needed upgrade. 5,000 last year in the budget was being accrued, not spent,
Mhm.
and 15,000 is planned for this year, accrued, not spent. I don't know what the total is in the reserve. The reserves, I'd need to check that, but obviously it's a sizable increase, and I think that is based on the premise that we know the district plan, pending any changes needed for the new NPPF.
Mhm.
Once that gets approved, there's an onus on us because the last plan approved is King.
Yes.
So, or Queen, as I should say. Well, yeah, it's King now, but
Mm.
obviously for everything, everyone. So we'll need to update that, whether in whole or in part, to keep it up to date. So I think it's
Yes.
valid that we do earmark reserves for that, which would be my 2 pence with.
Perfect.
Marvellous, thank you.
Was that item before the applications?
Don't worry. Yeah, yes.
Next time I will bring up an agenda. I do normally, I promise. Right, okay. Now we're going on to the planning. Right at the end, aren't we?
Yeah, this is just to note any planning appeal decisions received from Mid Sussex. So we've kind of already done that too.
Yeah,
We've
by
walked all over the place
Yeah.
today, but that's fine.
We got there.
interesting start to the year. But then I think that never mind, we'll get that.
Mm.
Keeps everyone on their toes once a month. But does that mean we come to the end of our
Yes, just the date of the
Barring
next
any-
meeting.
yes, absolutely.
No, so maybe-
I was hoping to get to that. Thank you. The next meeting apparently is Monday, the 3rd of February 2025. And I closed this meeting at 19:41.
Thank you for
This is going around of its own. Thank you. Otherwise it just goes battery.
Oh, yeah.
Can I do it?
Where do you spend? Yeah, I suppose that was my question. I also
So,